So those of you listening then will know that we're here today with Captain Al in the studio with us. Now, Captain Al has flown in this morning to our airport where I'm learning to fly, or our base at Ella. He's flown in to see Matt today, so he's seen you because of your fear of flying.
Yes, well, everybody knows that I've got a little bit of a fear of flying, and as I'm sure everybody knows, Captain Al, because, well, why wouldn't you know?
Everyone knows Captain
absolutely, Al. Has been helps lots of people try and get over their fear of flying, and we sort of sat down and had a bit of a chat in Carlos's lounge this morning.
We did. We had a little session. We went through some of the common elements that a lot of my clients suddenly discover that they're not unique to them and are actually quite prevalent, really, in people who have a fear of flying. You can break them down into fairly simple components. And then we just talked a little bit about breaking some of the myths, really, and looking at establishing some facts so that we can start to help us get control of some of our irrational thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been it's the next bit that I'm a little bit nervous about, I won't lie.
It would be unusual for you not to be nervous.
No, indeed.
And, of course, there's good nerves and bad nerves.
Yes.
But we're going to go off for a very short flight in a PA-28, a small four-seater aeroplane. It's not normally the sort of strategy that I'd take with the clients, just to emphasise that for a whole variety of reasons.
Can I fly? Can I have a go?
No.
Damn.
But the opportunity is there, and we discussed it yesterday, and you were fairly adamant that you didn't want to do it.
No.
And we've built on some of the things that we've talked about today, and I'm encouraged by the fact that you want to have a go. So there'll be no tying of arms behind back, but we have the opportunity. So I guess you guys will report back tomorrow on the show as to how it went.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Plane Talking UK podcast, the UK-based podcast written by a passenger for anyone. And here are your hosts, Carl Stebbings and Matt Smith.
Well, hello and welcome to episode number 124 of the Plane Talking UK podcast. I'm Carl Stebbings, and joining me in the spare room studio this week is my co-host Matt.
Hello, good morning, everyone. How is everyone?
Well, I'm good. I had a really boring gig last night.
Right. Yes. We've all heard about it.
Didn't go very well because it was boring. And I'm just ready to rock and roll this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's been in a steaming mood most of the morning.
Been in a mood at all.
Been a steaming mood.
But more importantly, which overshadows everything else that's going on, someone had their very first general aviation related flight yesterday.
Oh, is that what GA
and
means?
He's sitting very close to where I am now.
Yes, he is.
For those of you who looked on Facebook and followed us yesterday, you would have noticed that we had a very important person fly in yesterday.
A VIP fly in.
All the way from Manchester, and that was Captain Al. Captain Al flew here, and he actually flew into the school, flying school where I'm based over here at Ella at Beccles. And Nev flew in yesterday morning in his Piper 28 Cherokee, and lovely aircraft that was too.
Yeah,
wow, that was really nice.
Oh, good. I don't remember a lot about it, I got to be honest.
And Nev flew in. Al. Well, that'll be soon. That will. And Al flew in. Just to see Matt and have a chat with him about obviously his issues with flying.
Yes, indeed. I was officially counselled, everyone, in an attempt to try, and it was 2 and a bit hours, I think, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was busy cooking in the kitchen at the time.
Yes.
And so he flew in, and he actually done the trip in around about 90 minutes from Manchester.
I know, that's really
here,
scary,
which
isn't
is ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
And this just proves my point that flying is by far the only way to travel. But no, he came in and we obviously drooled over his plane for a bit because it is a very, very nice aircraft.
Yes, you were very jealous
nice.
that I was going up in it and you weren't actually.
Yeah. For those of you listening on Facebook and on YouTube and everywhere in iTunes and whatever, if you go to our Facebook page, you'll be able to see the photographs that I took yesterday of Captain Al's visit here. So, I mean, how was it, Matt? This is the first time you've been in a light aircraft, obviously. And one that I haven't been in before, which makes me all the more jealous.
Yeah. The long and the short of it is, to be honest, I only have one memory of it, which I think is probably a good thing because I really was. Well, I mean, you know how nervous I was before I actually got in the thing to get up in the air. To be brutally honest, and I don't mean to big up Captain Al in any way, shape, or form. Well, I do. But if it had been anyone else sat at the controls, I don't know if I'd have been able to do it, to be honest, because it's like, we've been lucky enough to get to know him over the last sort of year or so, and I couldn't have trusted anyone more, really. It's the only reason I sort of agreed to do it, and I'm very excited that I didn't scream like a banshee. That was an unexpected bonus, and I don't really remember a great deal about it other than stunning views of the area that I live. You literally sort of go up in the air and suddenly the coast is visible. It's really quite weird.
Good,
and the only downside is because obviously we fly over where I work, and it's just all I could see was the top of our coaches, and I thought the A18 desperately needs to have its roof
cleaned.
Yeah, absolutely, which is the unexpected bonus. But anyway, not really. Again, thank you very much.
Was it comfy in there, Matt?
It was.
Those seats, they were lovely leather seats.
It's a lovely little aircraft, I
Yeah.
think. I don't really remember, but it was very nice. We went up. It was a little bit bumpy, which was kind of like all of my worst fears that rolled into one. But Captain Alan's very good at sort of talking you through things that you don't need to worry about and all that. But it was very good. It was very good. As I was saying, I've sort of left it with the only memory that I have of it essentially was stunning views. So that's got to be an improvement, right?
I know. It's such a. I tell everyone that it's just such a. It's a different world when you're up there. I don't know how high. I forgot to ask how high Al took you.
About 800 feet, because I did ask him at one point. So we're we're about.
Oh, not too high.
Yeah, about 800 feet was where it was, but it was just weird because at 800 feet, of course, you can see the Beccles Tower. You can see the block of flats right near where I live and all that kind of thing, and they just look like just in front of you there. The fact that it's like 2 miles apart, and of course it was a beautiful day yesterday.
The big question is though, Matt, would you go up again?
Yes, I think I would. Yes, I think I would.
Because Al might be listening, you see.
Yeah. Is he? Oh no.
But we do want to say a big thanks to Captain Al,
absolutely,
especially for coming over yesterday. And I can say that I did feed Al. We did have food.
Yeah, no, he did get food.
Yeah,
yes,
I did feed Al. He did have bacon rolls.
And it is, I think it's sort of worth mentioning as well, seriously, if anybody does have a fear of flying, as I say, 2.5 hours I spent with Captain Al, because he runs a company called Flight Fear Solutions. If you stick that into Google, you'll find him. And he was brilliant. I mean, because he knows so much about what's going on as well. That makes a huge difference to it all, really. And
Al is one of these
literally
people.
Any question that I had, he had a very credible, and I think that's the thing for someone like me who doesn't know, who is very nervous about flying. You need facts. You don't need people or businesses or like people who are guilty of sort of gilding the lily a tad for their own benefit. Actually, to get facts. So you ask Captain Al a direct question, and he'll give you a direct answer, and he doesn't sugarcoat it because it doesn't help. But it was a very good experience, I would like to think that won't be the last time that I go up in a light aircraft. I was offered a brief hold of the controls, which I frankly declined because I couldn't think of anything more terrifying. I know you'd have ripped his arm off for a chance to.
God, blimey, yeah, I know, I know. I was in tears when I saw you flying away. I must admit. I've never been in a Piper 28, especially not one that looks that nice.
It was a stunning aircraft.
It was so well maintained. It was spotless. There was not a dead bug.
No,
even after his journey all the way here on the aircraft.
Anyway, enough of this. It is.
What's the date? What's the date?
It is the 7th of August on 2016. It is 10:07. It's Sunday morning. We're doing it on Sunday because there's a little bit of an impromptu
We've
gathering.
got some guests.
We do, yes.
But they're not in
No.
the Spare Room studio. With
So
us
I'm a
this
tad
week.
nervous after yesterday's experience. But yes, I'll leave you to introduce them.
So our guests then, as you may have known from the last episode, are, well, they're not across the pond. They're across the
North Sea?
North Sea. But we have got
Across the cesspit that is the North Sea.
I know.
Yeah.
We've got a little meet-up, a little impromptu meet-up
Yeah.
going on
Yeah, we
over
have.
at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. So we are going to go live right now over to Amsterdam, where our third kind of host is.
Yes, absolutely.
Of the show
the
over
legend
there.
that is,
So
yeah.
good morning to you, Neville Bounds.
Morning, gents. How are you? And welcome from a slightly cloudy Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. But here I am with four of my aviation friends. We have Stuart behind me.
Yeah.
We have Masha. We have Myla, and we have Fabian just on the right-hand side there. So, yes, I've flown in this morning just for the event, and then we're going to have a bit of a meet-up. There's plenty of food here. There's no shortage of that.
Captain Al will be
very
devastated.
pleased. I'm sure. But yeah, we thought we'd just say hello, and thank you very much for allowing us to share your show with us
The
today.
pleasure is all ours. I can
Oh,
assure you
great.
of that. Yeah, no, thanks for taking all the kit, Nev,
Yeah.
to do it. As I say, he is my partner in crime when it comes to technology. There is no man I would like to share time with more than anyone else. Because it's great. We have conversations, and everyone else around us glazes over.
So I'm
Brilliant.
going
I love it.
to guess, Nev, that your airline of choice for flying over was BA.
Of course. Is there another airline? Well, there is. There are plenty, but that's one I have to go with for reasons of Avios points and
Okay.
all that status
That's it.
business.
That's
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
But I thought what I'd do, actually, whilst we're here, is that I would hand the mic round to
Yeah,
the guys
please
here,
do,
and
yeah.
they can all have a quick chat to you. They can all hear you, which means that the technical bit has worked.
Good, yes,
which
absolutely.
makes a change.
Yeah.
So I'm going to introduce you to Myla now. Good morning, Myla.
Good morning. Hi.
Hi,
Hello, Myla.
Oh.
It's so lovely to see you rather than see you in the chat room and just a name.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm very excited, and it's lovely to meet everybody and see everybody. And Neville's done a wonderful job with bringing out all this gear, and yeah, it's just awesome. So
Great.
Very
yay.
How's the flying going, Myla?
Yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good. I've been training lately. Not so much simulator, but more psychological training and interview training, things like that. So yeah, it's been great.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Matt will come up with you soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, why not? Yeah. The duck has been broken.
I
You know,
know.
I'm game for anything now. I have to ask, Myla, what's the hat? The orange arrows. What's that all about?
Yeah, that's my hat. I thought I'd join Carlos in wearing a hat, and so yay!
Yeah. No, that's because he's completely bald under there. That's why he wears a hat.
Alright.
Yeah, whatever. There we go. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm not buying none of that. But yes, so they're very exciting. So of course, and we'll have to have you on the show again soon.
Yeah,
Myla,
we'll have to have you on
yeah?
the show again soon, Myla,
Yeah,
for a good
absolutely.
chat.
Yeah.
Good catch up.
All right.
See how-
All right.
see
I'm
how
going to
it's-
hand the microphone to Fabian now.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's-
cool.
Let's have
Yeah,
a speak
all
with
right.
Fabian.
Yeah.
Good morning, Fabian.
Hi everyone.
Good morning.
How you
Now,
doing?
very good, thank you. Now, I understand you've had a bit of a drive this morning because you don't actually live in Schiphol.
No, I don't live in the Netherlands. I drove here from Germany. It was like a 2-hour car ride, and yeah, here I am. I took the train in from nearby. That
Wow.
was 10 minutes, so it was good to arrive. Well, it was not too early to get up.
No, okay. That's brilliant. Oh, well done for.
So Fabian, are you a big podcast listener? Then I take it you obviously listen to the Airline Pilot Guy.
Yes, I do. I
What, the
started
T-shirt
listening to
gave
the
away,
Airline
did it?
Pilot Guy show like the beginning of this year, and we'll listen into the Plane Talking UK podcast now and then if I got the time.
Yeah.
And well, I listen to podcasts more and more now.
Yeah,
Good.
They're the way forward, I think, because a
Yeah.
lot of cars and things now, because you can shove like memory sticks into the front of a lot of these
In
radios
cars,
and things,
yeah,
can't you? It's
yeah.
great, so you can just sort of listen to things while you're on.
So you've got a bit of a passion for aviation, then, Fabian.
Yes, I do. I have been plane spotting since I was like 11 years old, and right now I'm in my ATPL training, and I will have my PPL check ride Monday in a week.
Wow. Good
that's
luck with
very-
that.
Yeah,
Good luck
definitely.
with that.
Yeah, fingers and toes all crossed for you on that one. So I'm going to ask the
Thank
question
you.
then, because we've not spoken to you before. We've asked Myla this already. What is your favourite aircraft of all time? Then come on, what is your favourite craft?
Commercial.
Oh, my favorite aircraft. Maybe the Tupolev 154
Really? Oh wow! Good
Wow.
choice.
The-
Yeah.
or the Lucky TriStar. I'm a big
Oh
fan.
no! Don't say the word TriStar. Oh dear, that's it. That's it.
Yes, well done, Fabian. You
Friends
have
for
now,
life now,
You've
yeah.
now joined the Gold Members Club.
Oh dear.
So well done.
I've
to you,
already
Fabian.
glazed over, listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have flown on the Tu-134 many years ago.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, that's a nice aircraft too. But I have not flown on the TriStar, but I've flown on the Tupolev 154. It was
well
quite an
done.
experience.
Wow. Oh dear.
Excellent.
So, well, we'll move along then, if we may, then, Fab. Thanks for that.
I will
And,
hand the microphone on, yes.
Cool, lovely, and we'll say hello to the lovely Masha.
Masha, how are you?
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Very nice to speak to you again.
And you.
Long
absolutely.
time no see.
Yeah, all of about 3 weeks. Yes.
Yeah, not that long a time.
Yeah, I know. Now, what was the highlight for you at Farnborough? What was the standout moment for you?
Meeting me, obviously.
Oh,
dear.
well, after that one.
Yeah, very diplomatic, dear. Well done.
Meeting like Captain Jeff and
Yeah.
Dr. Stapp
Yeah.
and all the podcasters that I've listened to for all this time. That was a highlight. But
Yeah.
if we're focusing on the air show, I think this one has been mentioned by a lot of people. But the F-35 was really really impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it surprises everyone from my point of view, but my favourite actually was the A380. I mean, we were walking
good
back
choice.
to the media tent, and I was completely blown away by this ridiculously huge aircraft that looked like it was just stalling. I mean, it was just stunning. I think Stuart, you were there as well. I think when we were walking back to the media tent when it was. With this A380, I've never seen anything like it, and that's the first time, because as everybody knows, I'm quite new to aviation and you know, developing a passion for it, shall I say, and that's the first time where I've literally stopped my conversation, stopped walking and everything, and just stood and you know, marvelled at this aircraft doing these amazing things.
Yeah, well, that's how it starts.
Is it
And
right? Oh no! What have I done?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
And now
dear.
every time you hear an engine, you'll look up.
Yeah, okay.
yeah. I've already downloaded Flight Radar 24 already.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I'm officially ruined now. I already get enough abuse from my colleagues at work. I don't need any more excuses to be a geek. But anyway, yeah, so we'll pass along there, Masha. Thanks for that. And
And, on to the next one.
yes, absolutely. I think it's a Shirt. I think is our
Shirt
next.
Backer,
Hello, Shirt.
Yes, hi guys.
So we'll ask.
It's a bit of a struggle with the cables for the
right.
mic.
Okay. Because as I say, Masha was garrotting Myla earlier, which is always nice. You know, the joys of cables and stuff. Yes.
Not enough XLRs, Nev.
No, no, it's all about
We
headphone
have
cables.
too many of them. That's
Yes,
the problem.
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
So how are you, Shut?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good.
Yeah, we're very, very lucky today. We have a very good view of two runways where jets are taking off all the time. And, well, my previous experiences here on the panorama deck were a bit less. You could see lots of planes taxiing, but not arriving and departing. And, well, in that respect, we're very lucky.
Cool.
And we're planning to video some of them and... yeah, well, send the videos to you. Maybe
Yes,
you
please.
can
Yeah,
use
that'd
them
be
in
great.
one of your shows.
Definitely.
Any
yeah.
particular aircraft out in front of you at the moment, Shut, that you could see that you sort of stand out?
No, is the short answer.
No, not really. No. It's just the amount of them and lots of wide bodies taking off and going to the States, and yeah, that brings back good memories.
Cool.
So it's the whole package. It's not one particular thing.
No, that's fantastic.
So your favourite part of the Farnborough meetup then, Shut? What was the
highlight
highlights
for
for you?
Yeah, I think the highlight was the meeting at Fleet. It was the first time that I saw you guys and saw the other listeners, and that was the moment that I knew that it was a good choice to come to Farnborough, and
Good.
yeah, it all came together. because it's just like what Micah said. You don't know the people, and it can be very good. It can be very, very bad. Captain Al mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
And well, for me, it was a very good experience, and that was the moment that all doubt was gone, and I felt very free and very okay in the whole weekend.
Just to sort of enjoy the whole experience. I mean, that's one of the things for me that really stood out. I mean, I've listened to the weirdest thing, and I think I said it in one of the earlier shows when I was sat there because I got there quite late, obviously because of train, work commitments, and I got there by train quite late on. And I'm sitting there, and it took me a minute or two just to gather my thoughts, if you like. So I'm sitting there, and I'm listening to Captain Jeff, who we've all listened to. I could hear, like, obviously Carlos, who I'm bored of hearing, and like Nev, who we've had on the show, and all these Pasadena Brian, and all these voices that you hear in your headphones when you're, like, in my case, scrubbing floors or cleaning coaches or whatever, and then suddenly thinking, hang on a minute, no, they're all around me. This is really weird. I mean, it was an amazing. Amazing
it was
time.
really good to meet all you guys. I tell you, it was really, really good.
So, what about from the actual air show itself, Stuart? What was the standout craft for you?
Yeah, I have to go with the F-35.
Yeah.
Just I've never seen an aircraft hovering, and I've never heard that much noise for such a long time.
Absolutely.
It was very noisy. But it was very impressive. I've never seen a Harrier. So, this was my first. And I didn't think I would be that surprised by it, because a few weeks earlier I saw the F-35, well, the Dutch version. That's not the hover version. I saw it at the air show in Leeuwarden in the Netherlands. So, well, I thought, I've seen it, and okay, I'm going to see it again, but it won't be special. But hey, it was quite special.
Quite special, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so I was quite wrong there.
Good. Okay, well, we'll pass back to Nev then, if that's okay.
Thanks, waiting for you guys.
Thank you, Stuart.
Yeah, no problem. So
yes,
we're going to
just one very quick thing just before we go. I just, as you do, I printed out the runway layout.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So whereabouts are you then in relation to the map?
Well, we're sort of somewhere where my little finger is in the middle there. But the funny thing is that there's this runway here, which is one of the newer ones, I think, which is 18 right, 36 left, and it is miles away from the main terminal area. You land there, and there is 25 minutes of taxiing just to get to the main thing. So when it says that the flight time is 1 hour and 20 minutes, it actually means the flight time is 45 minutes plus the usual 15-minute sort of fiddle factor, but it's actually 20 to 25 minutes taxi at a good 30 knots to get into the terminal area. So
I mean, that must be difficult
airport for such a small country. Fascinating.
Yeah. Mind you, it is quite famous as a big hub. I know, for example, Norwich. If you want to go international from Norwich, everything goes via Schiphol. So it is literally Norwich to Schiphol, and then you go off to wherever it is that you want to go. So I don't think Norwich is alone. I think a lot of regional airports use that as a main hub to move on out. But that must be a serious concern for the operators, if you like, because you've got to factor that because it's unusual to be taxiing for 20 or 30 minutes from the runway. I mean, that's got to have an effect on load factors for fuel and things like that.
Yeah, I think they've done it here though for environmental reasons. So that this main runway, which is over 12,500 feet long, so it's one of the longer runways available. That's actually quite remote, and that's probably done for a reason because a lot of traffic uses it. But it's from a timing point of view, they must always have to factor it in. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So we're going to ask the same question to you then, Nev. Obviously, what was the highlight? I mean, you and I obviously had quite a technical experience, I think is the best way to describe it at Farnborough, the results of which I'm still very proud of.
Was the A380.
Good.
And the quite aerobatic nature of that aircraft at Farnborough. Obviously, it was very light, I would imagine, but absolutely extraordinary handling capabilities for such a large aircraft. And, of course, you can't really get the perspective of the size of it until you're up close to it. And there's this huge aircraft with these massive wings that's doing a display as good as it was. Really, really fascinating to see it. And also good that the weather was nice as well, wasn't it? We were there.
We're so lucky, really. We had a couple of great days weather-wise for it. I mean, it was just stunning, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what other things you guys got planned today? Obviously, you're going to go now and have a good good old breakfast.
Yes, I mean, we're not short of food here, I can tell you. My goodness me, I've never seen so much Dutch food in one place in my life on this table. I can't actually show it to you because we're having to sort of put the computer around one way, but we'll take some pictures of it and send them over to you. But we're going to have some food. We're going to do a recorded piece for the APG show, which Jeff and the guys can play in at a later date.
Cool.
And then we'll take some video for you guys as well, just for walking around the observation deck here. It's a really nice change actually to have such a huge airport with a lovely observation and public area,
and it's something that airports don't do these days, do they? They don't sort of cater for the AV geek these days, not like they used to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember years ago I used to spend a lot of my time on top of the Queen's building at London Heathrow. That closed ages ago. I think probably Manchester has got one of the best viewing parks in the UK. But certainly most of the UK airports are, very much discourage you from looking at aircraft
and hanging around any longer than is necessary.
Rubbish,
it is rubbish.
Rubbish.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're not going to delay you any longer, guys. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your days. If you just pan the camera around, give us all a wave, everyone. Let's
there we are.
Yay.
So seriously, guys,
snapshot.
From all of us guys here, thank you very much for taking the time to chat to us. Thanks, Nev, obviously, for your technical skills.
Don't forget to take a big selfie of you all yourselves together and send that to us,
and we'll stick it on the website.
On the website,
yeah, of course. Yeah, I think we've already done that actually. Yeah.
Excellent.
So,
Good. Take it across. Excellent.
Yep. Yeah. Brilliant. But thank you very much, guys, for your time today. And really nice to be able to talk to you.
Lovely job, and enjoy your day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Take care, everyone. Bye. So we're going to start the show then, as we do each week, with our rundown of the weekly news from around the world and the UK. So if you're ready, Matt.
Yes, I am.
Let's go. So our first news story this week then is on the news.com.au. It was an Australian news.
Is it?
News
that's
company.
good.
Yeah. So the headline, Australian co-pilot Jeremy Webb ran for life after Emirates plane crash landing and caught fire in Dubai. For those of you who followed the news for this week, you would have known that there was that crash in Dubai of that 777-300 and there was quite a few videos on social media that made me quite
feel
angry.
Right.
But anyway, the story, Sydney.
You can't
pilot,
leave it there. Go on, explain.
We'll get to the end.
Okay.
A Sydney pilot and another Australian ran for their lives after the Emirates crash. It emerged the plane tried to regain altitude before it hit the ground. Transponder data and air traffic control communications, if confirmed by the plane's black boxes, indicate the flight crew of EK521 was starting to go around for a second landing attempt when something went horribly wrong. Transponder data from the Boeing 777-300 obtained by aviation website Flight Radar 24 show the plane descending coming close to the ground at 12:37 p.m. local time before altitude readings and vertical speed readings suddenly increased, indicating the start of a go-around. That came around the same time an air traffic control recording also had someone calling out the flight's number and saying returning to 4,000. It indicates that there was some kind of effort to try and gain altitude, Mikhail Robertson, a co-founder of Flight Radar 24, said. But within 12 seconds, the aircraft ascended and struck the ground, apparently bouncing back up briefly before coming down and stopping, according to the data. Investigators have recovered the black boxes from the wreckage, which comprises of the cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder. While the runway reopened later on in the week, Dubai International Airport didn't resume normal operations until at least 48 hours after the airport was opened because of the backlog of cancelled flights and delays. At the time of the crash landing, it was midday, so it was quite hot outside. But I've seen the videos posted. Obviously, there's a lot of videos on social media, on YouTube, and there's quite a few different angles of the crash. Which show one of the videos actually shows the aircraft literally just after it had come to a standstill. And there was also a video posted on, I think it was maybe one of the airport sites for Dubai yesterday, that show the aircraft, which has been broken up into two pieces and is being taken away by low loader lorries with the sections of the aircraft on, because the aircraft was completely gutted out. We've got a picture there on the screen for those of you on YouTube. You'll be able to see there's a photo there, obviously with the blaze in full swing there, and you can see the emergency escape slide at the rear door there. But the engine on the other side of the aircraft, which you can't see, was one of the ones that was ripped off in the crash. But it was one of the videos that really annoyed me on social media. Was the one that showed inside the aircraft on the evacuation with people grabbing their bags and suitcases from the overhead bins
as they were getting off.
I mean, this aircraft was smoking. The fire was starting to take hold, and there you've got people getting their cases and
of course it's worth mentioning also that whilst everybody on the aircraft, cabin crew and everyone all got off, there was sadly a fireman who did lose his life dealing with the blaze. So it's
I mean, obviously it's good that all the passengers got off safely, but it's very, very unfortunate and sad that one of the firefighters, as Matt said, lost his life.
While we are talking about aviation issues or disasters, I suppose is the best way to describe it. I think it's worth just mentioning. Glenn Towler had just said in the chat room here, and I've just looked the story up. But also there was 11 hours ago was the story was reported. So sort of like overnight, a historic replica airplane, the Bugatti 100P, crashes near Burns Flat. Pilot and designer Scotty Wilson also died unfortunately. So that's very sad.
Been a good week.
It's not been a good week, but I won't go too much into that story, obviously, because we don't know all the facts yet. But if you Google Bugatti crash, which is what I did just now when Glenn mentioned it in the chat room. So it's very sad. So it's a Bugatti 100P, and its pilot, sadly, Scotty Wilson, has died in the crash as well. Very
Mike
sad.
has just put in the chat room as well that apparently 2 skydivers perished yesterday in California as well.
Really?
So it's not been a good start to August.
No, it's
I
not.
Think either,
no, it hasn't. No, I think it's safe to say that.
But moving on,
moving on
to more things brighter.
Really?
Story for you, Matt, on Travel Mole. This one.
Oh, okay, and this is one that one of the friends of the show pointed us in the direction of yesterday. Actually, in our chat room. I think he's in the air, unfortunately, so I can't. He probably.
No, he's in.
There he is. There he is. Yeah. So it's entirely his fault that we're reading this story out. It is a Travel Mole is the website, and the headline is Ryanair sets new airline record. Ryanair claims it has become the first airline to carry more than 11 million passengers in a single month. That's a huge.
That's a lot of passengers.
In July, a 12% rise in traffic pushed the airline's total to 11.3 million passengers. During the month, it sold 96% of its available seats. That's an amazing statistic, isn't it? 96% of all seats available were full. Spokesman Kenny Jacobs, who we often hear from giving out these various reports, said these record passenger figures were delivered at lower fares and thanks to the continuing success of our Always Getting Better programme, which continues to win new customers and new markets despite yet more French ATC strikes and continuing post-Brexit market uncertainty. Our customers, and in particular families, are flying in even greater numbers this summer thanks to Ryanair's lower fares that are already down 10% versus last year. Actually, I don't know whether I should say this, so you'll have to tell me if I've got to cut it out afterwards. But one of the things that Captain Al was talking to me about when we were talking about my fear of flying and all that kind of thing, so they had sort of various counselling yesterday by Captain Al. One of the things that he mentioned is because you always sort of assume and I'm using Ryanair as an example. I'm using Ryanair and BA as an example because it's like I'll be honest, if you have a choice between flying with Ryanair or if money isn't an object, sorry.
Oh, if money's not an object,
and you've got a choice between going with Ryanair or BA, then obviously in my head I immediately go British Airways. One thing that was interesting is bearing in mind the load factors that Ryanair have here. In all the time that they've been flying, which is nearly 30 years? I think it's 30 years now. They've just celebrated. The one thing that did come out of that is that BA have had far more hull losses than Ryanair have in their 30-year history.
That's a fair point to make, yeah.
And in fact, Ryanair have had 0 hull losses in their 30-year history. They've had incidences, don't get me wrong.
There's incidences all the time, and for anyone who follows Aviation Herald, you'll know.
To be brutally honest, that was a very sobering piece of information. That
they were founded. They actually were commenced operations in 1985.
Yeah,
Ryanair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, food for thought there, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a bit of a sort of sobering thought, really, actually.
Yeah. And you think the amount of rotations and stuff a day that Ryanair do, the amount of their aircraft. I mean, you've only got to look on like I said, Flight Radar 24 over the UK, and there is literally hundreds of Ryanair flights buzzing across Europe all the time.
I will double check that I'm okay to put that out, obviously, because at the moment we've only those in the chat room are hearing this, and this isn't available afterwards. Obviously,
I think it's a fair comment. I don't think there's going to be an issue with that. But
I will double check. I will double check those figures before we do.
So the next news story on the business.
Hang on, Captain Al's just appeared in the chat room. Did you hear what I said a moment ago? Am I okay to put that out, or do I need to take that out?
He's only just dipped in briefly.
Okay, we'll find out. See what he says. Yeah. Okay.
So the next story then on the Business Traveller site, and this one is regarding BA, who we've just been talking about.
Yeah.
And British Airways have completed their.
Hang on, stop. Because if I have cut that out, you can't, because I won't be mentioning it at all.
Okay.
So just say it without that bit. Sorry.
And the next story is on the Business Traveller site.
All right, and if you could do it without sounding quite so peed off at me, that's...
There isn't going to be an issue with that, I can assure you.
No, okay, all right.
And the next story then on the Business Traveller site, and regarding BA, and British Airways completes their Boeing 747 refresh. We've got some pictures to come up in a bit, but British Airways has completed its refit of all 18 of its older Boeing 747-400s. The refit has been going on for 12 months, and the first refreshed Boeing 747 debuted last September on the New York to JFK route in 2015. The refit sees the Boeing 747s having a refreshed interior, new in-flight entertainment system, as well as an increased Club World cabin, an extra 16 seats. Internally, these 747s are referred to as Super High J because of the increased number of J seats, business class seats. In total, BA has 40 747s with 3 different configurations. In terms of business class seating, the number of business class seats differs from 52 to 70 to 86 seats, depending on premium demand on a particular route. The final refurbishment 747 goes back into commercial service this week on the 4th of August as BA 117 on the Heathrow to JFK route. Troy Warfield, British Airways Director of Customer Experience, said that we all know customers who fly the revamped 747s really appreciate the improved interiors with their mood lighting, better seating, and new state-of-the-art in-flight entertainment systems, making their flight just fly by. The engineers made these amazing aircraft look and feel like new with enhanced comfort and cutting-edge technology and cool, clean design. BA says that across all 18 aircraft, the 11-month refit has involved 61 miles of wiring for the new Panasonic EX3 in-flight entertainment systems, enough new carpets to cover 34 tennis courts, nearly 6 miles of new LED lighting, and 4,500 new light fittings as well, and also fabric changes to 4,950 seats. The new carpets and seat covers and mood lighting have all been fitted throughout each aircraft to match the new colour palette of the airline's new A380s and 787s, including new seat foams and new seat covers in the World Traveller and World Traveller Plus to increase comfort. That's going to be... I still need to fly on BA. I haven't flown on BA yet, and I need to fly on BA. Nev's the man to talk to when it comes to BA, because he is the BA man, isn't he?
Yeah. Sponsored by.
Sponsored by, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the next story.
Which is a bit of a technical one for you, Matt.
Good. I do like that. It's a Breaking Travel News is the website, and the headline is iPass brings Wi-Fi connectivity to United Airline passengers. iPass has entered into an agreement with United Airlines to provide customers with Wi-Fi access to the United Airlines Wi-Fi in-flight network. United Airlines passengers who are iPass customers will benefit from secure, frictionless... What's frictionless? That's an unusual way of describing it. Secure, frictionless Wi-Fi experience as they move from the airport terminal... Oh, I see. From the airport terminal to the United Airlines aircraft and beyond, utilising a single service. In an increasingly connected world, ubiquitous reliable and secure connectivity has become a requirement for mobile professionals, said iPass chief Gary Griffiths. In-flight is a critical venue for keeping United Airlines and iPass customers connected, and United Airlines is an essential addition to our in-flight offering. We are delighted to enter into this partnership with United Airlines. The rollout is scheduled to commence during the fourth quarter of 2016, and once complete, will provide eligible customers with Wi-Fi access across United's entire Wi-Fi enabled fleet of more than 700 aircraft, the world's largest high-speed satellite enabled fleet. United is dedicated to giving our customers the choice to be productive, relaxed or entertained in flight, said Scott Wilson, United Vice President of Merchandising and E-commerce. Working with iPass enables us to further deliver on that promise for our customers, who will benefit from faster logins and greater ease of connection.
Owen's quite rightly just put in the chat room, I wonder how much this Wi-Fi is going to cost, because obviously there are costs in, with all the Wi-Fis that the airlines offer. They don't give you free Wi-Fi access. No. The only time I've ever had free Wi-Fi access was with Emirates, and that was because we were delayed. So they gave the aircraft
as a sweetener.
Yeah, as free Wi-Fi. But I'd love to, if any airlines are listening, any CEOs of any airlines are listening and want me and Matt to come and test the speed of their Wi-Fi, we're more than happy to come and do a live show from on board one of your aircraft.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah,
I wonder whether they'll get the upload.
I could say you need quite strong upload speeds for that. I can't.
I would love. Yeah. Do you know what? I think that should be our goal for the 200th episode.
Is to do one.
Do a live show from on board an aircraft. Ooh, that would be
okay. I'm not even sure how to begin to try and work that out. We might be able to do it in a GA aircraft. Okay.
Glenn Towler's put GoGo has a great new service on their 737 test aircraft, 40 megabytes per second.
Ah, that's incredible. What, up or down?
I think that's download.
Yeah.
We need upload. We are upload hungry here at PTUK for the live shows.
Yeah, we are a bit thirsty. We
love
upload speeds. Yeah. Well, because we try and broadcast in 720p for those of you who do watch it on YouTube, and that requires at least 2 megabit in order to be able to do that stable connection. Anyway,
so the next story is kind of one that kind of goes in with some of the stories we've had in the past on the show, Matt, and it's on Travel Mole's website. Jet2, based here in the UK, up in Manchester, are banning alcohol sales on morning flights.
On morning flights.
Oh, so
that's terrible. That's terrible news for all alcoholics everywhere, isn't it?
I know. The Jet2 will ban the sale of alcoholic drinks on board its morning flights in their latest bid to tackle a rise in disruptive and abusive behaviour among passengers. It said the groundbreaking move will be introduced from Monday across all their bases. The airline's also calling for airports and retailers to follow its lead and also ban alcohol sales before 8 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
It's also encouraging industry partners to support their call for fully sealed bags for alcohol purchased in airports to stop illegal consumption of alcohol during flights. It's also been trialling the bags at Manchester's and Glasgow airports. They believe stopping the sales of alcohol before 8 o'clock on morning flights is an effective way to ensure everyone has an enjoyable and comfortable journey. The announcement is part of the airline's clampdown on bad behaviour on its flights, which has seen more than 500 passengers refuse travel since 2015. With over 50 of these given lifetime bans. Wow. That's like having a pub in the air, Matt, being a landlord and barring someone.
I think it worth mentioning. I mean, Jet2 have featured quite highly when we've been talking about stories involving alcohol. They do seem to have had the bad run of luck, shall we say, with disruptive passengers. Certainly, if the media is anything to go by, for whatever reason, if they aren't experiencing any more than any others, it seems to be Jet2 that keeps featuring highly in it.
Glenn Towler's put 500. That's nuts.
Indeed, it is.
Indeed, it is.
Yeah,
that is a hell of a lot of passengers to bar.
Absolutely.
Well, it's literally the bar, isn't it?
Give
it a pub watch ban. Perhaps they should have a thing called plane watch.
Plane watch ban,
like we have pub watch here in the UK for people who are naughty in pubs. We should have plane watch.
Yeah, it's a funny one though, isn't it? Because as I say, they do seem to have the bad run of luck. So I do understand why they've gone down that route, because
it's a good idea.
They have had a no, it's not.
It is a good idea. Banning alcohol on those morning flights. It is good.
No, it's not. No, I'm sorry. It's the only time of the year when I go on my annual
drink
holiday
alcohol
that I feel not bad drinking a pint of cider at 6 a.m. in the morning.
I suppose. Yeah,
and that small avenue of unique pleasure, because I haven't got to. I've already done my driving. I'm done. And to be fair, we've probably in most cases, because we live so far away from a damn airport. We've been up for 6 hours before we get to the airport. So
next time you fly from Stansted, Matt, treat yourself to a number one lounge package.
A what?
It's not expensive. Number one lounge. At Stansted. Well, you can fly them, but you can use it with Ryanair because it's right near their gates.
Okay, handy. I like it.
And you get a package deal which includes fast track security, parking, and the lounge access.
I like all of those.
And when you get the lounge access, you get unlimited drink, so you can have a Jameson's or whatever your tipple is in the.
The legend that is Captain Al has got a great idea here in the chat room. How about an extra charge for alcohol on board upgrade? Yeah, that's what we want. So if you're willing to pay more, you can have alcohol at 6 o'clock in the morning in the aircraft.
Yeah.
There's a definite revenue street. Ryanair are listening, obviously. There's an opportunity.
Obviously, pilots don't touch alcohol before they fly.
They're locked away in. They're locked away in their little cubby hole, aren't they? But
so the next story, another technical one for you, Matt.
Excellent. Okay. This is on the Breaking Travel News website again, and the headline is Iceland Air offers flights through Facebook Messenger. Now, I think we covered a story last week, didn't we, where people were using if you just had to send to Facebook through Facebook Messenger your flight details, and then while you were in the airport,
what airline that was?
I can't remember. Yeah, it was only last week as well.
It was last
week.
Really
embarrassing.
Memory like
and they were giving you updates and details about what your gate number and everything was in the airport, which is a brilliant idea. But anyway, Iceland Air is offering passengers the option of booking their next transatlantic flight through Facebook Messenger. The Facebook Messenger stopover bot, whatever one of those is the newest example of the rising trend in conversational commerce. Available 24/7, the new bot makes it easier than ever to book an Iceland Air stopover by bringing the point of sale directly to the customer, allowing passengers to book flights directly from Facebook Messenger. The stopover bot is also an efficient customer service tool that can, together with booking and search functionality, answer commonly asked questions with quick, content-rich answers combining text, photos, and even video. The Director of Marketing and Business Development at Iceland Air, whose name I'm not even going to begin to attempt to get right, comments, "We want to constantly improve the travel ecosystem for customers starting from the very beginning of their booking experience, placing Iceland Air ahead of the game and making flight bookings available through Facebook Messenger marks the commitment to our customers. We know what platforms our customers use and want to embrace new ways to communicate and offer valuable interactions with them in that space. Though I was thinking, through this thinking, we're hoping to position ourselves as more than just an airline, but as a software company, and the launch of the Stopover bot is another step towards our aim of customers being able to book a flight anywhere at any time. Developed with research that shows the popularity of messaging apps and consumer insights surpassing that of social media, Iceland Air worked with a company, I want to say Travelier, in developing this first phase, the ability to book outside the website using using Facebook Messenger. The project's second phase, additional functionality for enhancing the user experience, is currently in development.
So do you have to add Icelandair as a friend on Facebook or something to get
Well,
this to work?
I know, because you do get chat apps, even in our own Facebook page. The chat app will work with Plain Talking UK, so people can send us a message through Facebook Messenger directly to us. And I noticed this morning when I was looking at the thing, it was talking about offering your customers similar automated responses. When I was doing the Facebook push first thing this morning. So it is obviously something that Facebook are actively pushing towards business-related users.
Lots of people use Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, I do.
So it's good.
In fact, quite often I use Facebook Messenger as a way of complaining about terrible customer service I've received. And you usually get a very, very fast response.
Twitter,
much faster than you do if you send them an email or anything like that.
Following on, that's a good segue actually into a kind of an offshoot story that I had.
Yeah.
Someone I know, actually someone I know on Facebook, has this week flown out to Turkey with Thomson Airways. Right. And they flew out to Antalya in Turkey, and they flew with Thomson from Stansted. And they were due to depart at 5:15 in the evening.
Yeah.
And they eventually took off at 9:30 due to a delay that was not explained to any passengers. They were just told it's delayed.
Okay.
And so that's over a 3-hour delay.
Wow, so it's a big delay.
So it's over a 3-hour delay. So the compensation kicks in after 3 hours. Yeah. And they got a £5 snack voucher.
Ooh, that's not really enough, is it?
For the worries and stuff.
Yeah.
They made up some time by flying a slightly different route. I should imagine they had a tailwind on the way.
Right.
But my friends had, obviously they've got young children and stuff, and obviously it's a struggle. You've got children who are tired, and you're tired yourselves. And she contacted us here to see about how the compensation rules are. Mm-hmm. So I looked up online. I was quite sure what they were, but. The rules actually are that for any delay of 3 hours or more, you're entitled to a set amount of €400, which works out about 335 quid.
Okay.
And the law...
So essentially, a meal voucher was not enough.
Yeah, the law does state that any delay over 3 hours of a flight of a distance between 1,500 and 3,500 kilometres, which their flight was 1,810... they're entitled to that. So I told her to go to Twitter, because Twitter's a great way of complaining about flying and stuff. And then go, obviously, if you get no joy with Twitter, then go direct to Thomson and try and see what you can do.
Al's asking in the chat room, what time did they actually arrive?
They arrived at 9:30 in the evening.
Right.
So they were due to. Hold on, let me get back to here. Let me get back to the message here that I've got.
Owen's saying, actually, was this Thursday by any chance? The whole airport was unbelievably delayed.
So sorry. They were due to depart at 5:15 in the evening, and they didn't depart till 9:30.
Right.
So they
that's
from Stansted.
Right.
Yeah. That was earlier this week.
But by the sound of it, it wasn't just them that were having problems. It sounds like it was airport wide from the conversation in the chat room here.
But I think a fiver
is probably not enough. But then that's down to the individual airline, isn't it? I suppose.
But there are laws in place to protect passengers with when the because obviously airlines have insurances and stuff to cover these sorts of things.
The trigger for compensation is arrival time, not departure time, apparently.
Oh, they didn't arrive. Cool. They didn't arrive till later than that then, because obviously they were supposed to take off at 5:15, and didn't take off till 9:30.
Okay.
So it's quite a fair delay they had, I think.
Yeah. The trigger for compensation is the arrival time. So whatever time they landed is whatever, so as long as it was over 3 hours.
Whatever the flight from Stansted to Turkey is. Was how long?
Yeah.
From 9:30 onwards, so whatever that is works out. But
right. And to go even deeper, it's when the first passenger door opens as well.
Thanks, Captain Al.
Any excuse, yeah.
So next story, next story is one that Matt posted on our Facebook page this week, early in the week, and it's on Flight Global, and it's the 737 that was damaged in an accident at Bergamo.
Yeah.
So Italian authorities have opened an inquiry into the Boeing 737-400 overrun at Bergamo Orio al Serio, which seriously damaged the aircraft. The ASL Airlines jet, operating in the colours of Express Service DHL, came to rest on its fuselage underside on a road. Wow, that really is on the road.
It's probably on the road.
Images from the scene confirm the aircraft as bearing the Hungarian registration, Hotel Alpha, Foxtrot Alpha, X-ray. And there we go. Fleets Analyzer database lists the airframe as a 25-year-old example, which operated for Qantas before transferring to Airwork, where it underwent freighter conversion. The aircraft has been substantially damaged in the overrun, losing both its CFM International 56 engines, its main landing gear, and fracturing its horizontal stabilizer. Italian investigation authority ANSV says the aircraft had been arriving after conducting flight 7332 from Paris Charles de Gaulle, and the accident took place at just after 4 o'clock in the morning. The investigation team have started their inquiry, and they're obviously going to find out what happened here. But I mean, judging by the weather, if you look at that picture there, which shows obviously not long after the incident, I mean, it looks a bit wet,
right?
Looks a tad damp there, so possibly weather could have been a factor,
a possible factor,
on that flight. But both the pilots and stuff got to have that okay. So
yeah. Yeah, maybe the stuff inside was
We've got a delivery story for the last story. Actually,
have we?
Yeah, it's quite exciting.
Oh,
so the next story is
all
yours, Matt, and get your loans and your wallets ready for this one.
Right, this is on the ITV News website, and the headline is "Motorist at Stansted given over £800 parking fine." Oh dear, here we go. A motorist who refused to move his vehicle from a no-waiting area at Stansted Airport today, this is on the 3rd of August, notched up what may be the highest ever penalty for a single parking misdemeanour. Lorenzo Petroni was hit with an £811 bill after being found guilty of failing to move his vehicle after being asked to move by an airport official who had reasonable grounds to believe that he had committed or was about to commit an offence. Chelmsford magistrates fined Petroni, who was convicted in his absence, £660. He was ordered to pay £85 costs and a £66 victim surcharge in respect of the offence committed on the 13th of January this year. That's yes, ouch, is the long way.
That's quite a parking fine.
But why see, I say this again and again though, but why don't you move? Like, if you have an official come up to you and say, "I'm sorry, you need to move that car, otherwise it's going to cost you a small fortune," why do you say no? I refuse.
Yeah, that is
you've been given an opportunity to not be massively fined, and you say no anyway. All right, there is a possibility we don't have all of the details there because it is a rather brief report, but nevertheless, surely if somebody officially tells you to move your damn car, you do as you're told, don't you?
Or
especially at an airport.
Or you just don't park
depending
there.
on where it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have blown it up thinking it was a threat. I mean, we do live sadly in very disturbing times. It sort of worries me a bit that I don't know. It just makes me cross.
It's a lot of money, that.
Yeah.
£800. That's not a cheap fine.
Glenn also says, actually, why didn't he turn up in court?
Yeah, true.
I'm sorry. Because if you had extenuating circumstances as to why you were parking in this place,
I mean, if your car's broken down, surely that's a good excuse.
Yeah, but it doesn't say that the vehicle had broken down.
I'd break it down anyway.
Well, okay, yes, fair enough.
The next story is on Flight Global, and the headline: UK probes stabilizer jam on EasyJet Airbus A320. Special story just for Al. This one.
Oh dear.
Investigators are looking into an incident involving a jammed horizontal stabilizer which occurred during an EasyJet A320 service to London Gatwick. The incident, which took place on the 27th of July, is being probed by the UK Air Accidents Investigation Branch, or the AAIB. But details have been disclosed by French counterpart BEA, which says the affected aircraft had a serial number of 6192. This is listed by Fleets Analyzer as a 2-year-old airframe, bearing the registration Golf Echo Zulu Whiskey X-ray. The BEA's information is only preliminary, but it classifies the incident during a service from Heraklion in Greece as serious. The authority says the trimmable horizontal stabiliser jammed in flight. It adds the event occurred on the Brest flight information region in northwestern France, and no further information as to the circumstances of the problem have been disclosed.
Well, I dare say that'll all come out in the wash, as they say.
Yes, yeah. I guess coming in now or something. the door flying open somewhere.
Indeed.
But no, these sorts of incidents and stuff. Obviously, this had a good outcome. It didn't cause any problems. But these sorts of things are what appear on Aviation Herald website. Simon's awesome site, which he produces, which is great to go and look at.
Uh-huh.
So the last story is a picture story.
It is. Okay.
And it's also a story we sort of touched on last week.
Mm-hmm.
But they've released a video on YouTube which we can't play, but we've got some photos which look really good.
Okay. So this is on Flight Global, and the headline is video. Amazon releases video of the branded 767F. Now, the F presumably means freighter. Yeah, absolutely. So online retailer Amazon is seeking to raise awareness of its entry into the air freight market, releasing a video and images of its first branded Boeing 767-300ER freighter, an aircraft the company calls Amazon One. Well, that's very original. The aircraft registration plate, which is November 1997 Alpha, will also fly on the 5th of August. Look at me with my phonetic alphabet. You're slightly impressed, aren't you? Yeah, absolutely. Will also fly on the 5th of August during the Boeing Seafair Air Show held near Seattle, where Amazon is based, the company says in an accompanying media release. The video shows a time-lapse depiction of the aircraft at the paint shop. When finished, it has a white fuselage with Prime Air overlaid in blue letters. The aircraft's tail is painted black and highlighted with Amazon's logo. So I say we can't play the video, but what we can do is we can show you the picture up.
Yeah, look at that
off the website.
There we go. For those of you who are Prime members on Amazon,
yes,
that could be bringing your USB stick to you in a package, or something slightly bigger.
Right. Okay.
But that's pretty. I do like that paint scheme.
Yeah.
I must admit, I do like that paint scheme.
Nice.
It does look really nice. Yeah. And it's also very good as well that they're using a Boeing 767 freighter for that particular.
As opposed to
I don't know,
an Airbus is what you're saying, isn't it?
Sorry.
Here we go. Oh dear, you're blatant. You're absolutely blatant. Anyway, it is time to welcome our resident pilot. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Pilot Pip. He has a nice little segment for us. Now, we haven't actually had, because we've had a very busy weekend this weekend, and I'm a little bit nervous because the headline on it simply says Nigel.
Yeah.
So brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. This could be absolutely anything as we welcome the legend that is Pilot Pip to the show.
Plane safety from the flight deck with Pilot Pip.
Hello everyone, it's Pip here with something just a little bit different in this week's segment. We're going to take a look at how not to behave on the radio. Now, we all get cheesed off sometimes, we get annoyed, we get angry at things that happen, and we want to blame other people, take it out on the air traffic controller or other aircraft around us. But, there's certain ways you should behave, certain things you say, and certain things you don't say. So what I've got here is a little ATC recording, audio recording, of an incident that happened at Dublin Airport, somewhere I've been many times, I guess a couple of months ago now. And this there's a couple of main protagonists in this little tale. The main one is the British Airways aircraft, the Speedbird 81 Delta, I think is his call sign. The other one is an Air Stobart, which is a freight carrier, if you don't know them, flying a turboprop. I think in this particular incident they're also flying in Aer Lingus colours, because they get referred to as both Stobart Air and Aer Lingus. And also involved is the a Ryanair call sign, an Aer Lingus call sign, and of course the very patient ground controller, air traffic controller at Dublin Airport. So let's have a little listen, and this is a segment I'm calling Oh Nigel.
Is inbound Rhino 727 to effect. You listen out and I'll call you back shortly.
Okay, so that's the very pleasant sounding Dublin ground controller there. Let's continue.
Speedbird 81 Delta, minus 737 to taxi right to the left behind you. When they are clear, push and start to the approved 2-point Charlie.
So she's just given an instruction to the Speedbird. He was cleared to push and start after the Ryanair has passed behind him. Okay, so he's nose in to the terminal and she's cleared him to push back and start after the Ryanair passes behind.
After Ryanair, push and start approved, engine start Charlie, Speedbird 81 Delta.
Speedbird 96 Papa Lima, and there's a few items to affect you. If not, I'll call you back shortly for push and start.
That's the Stobart Air aircraft, which evidently is parked next to the British Airways. Okay, so far, so good.
Ryanair 70 Mike Romeo, monitor tower 118.6, Cabana.
Monitor tower 118.6, Ryanair 70 Mike Romeo. Thanks very much, bye.
Speedbird 96 Papa Lima, Ryanair 737 to park on stand 125 behind you. When they're on stand, push and start to the approved 2-point Bravo.
After the Ryanair parking stand 125, push start approved to Bravo, Stobart 90 Papa Lima.
Okay, that's the Stobart Air again. He's or she has now been cleared to push and start also after the Ryanair has passed. So we've got two aircraft there, the Speedbird and the Stobart have been cleared to push and start after the Ryanair.
Also caution the ground crew, the British Airways on your left will be pushing back also to Charlie.
So the controller's just come back there just to clarify with the Stobart that the British Airways is going to push and start first.
Speedbird 81 Delta, ground crew will stop the push because of Aer Lingus behind us.
Yeah, I was trying to call you, sir. Speedbird 81 Delta, they're pushing back to Bravo, so when they're clear, push and start, clear the push and start to Charlie.
Okay, so the Speedbird had started their push, but evidently they had to stop, or the ground crew stopped on their behalf because the Air Stobart had also erroneously started to push back at the same time. So nothing wrong with that. A bit of a hiccup there, bit of a miscommunication. The Stobart's pushed back a bit early, but no big problem. The Speedbird ground crew have spotted that and halted the push. So the ground controllers said, all right, not to worry, let the Stobart go, and then you're cleared to continue to push and start. Okay, no big deal so far.
Roger, after Aer Lingus we'll push to Charlie. You should have told us that before, really.
Ooh, all right, he's a little bit cheesed off there. All right, I guess I can understand that.
I was trying to call you so you weren't listening out, but they were also cautioned reference they were supposed to give way.
Okay, I've been to Dublin many times. It's a pretty busy airport. There's lots of stuff going on. Perhaps the way that the airport's laid out is not the most efficient in terms of getting aircraft off stand and away. You've got it's almost one in, one out, so it can get pretty busy on frequency. And I can certainly understand how calls can be missed. You get 2 or 3 people transmitting at the same time, and it's very easy to miss a vital piece of information. So evidently the ground controller has said that she did try to warn the BA that the Stobart had started to push. Again, it's a little bit of a cock up there, but no big deal.
I wasn't listening out because we were talking to the ground crew. They're telling us the same thing, so you were a bit late.
Aha, okay, he's definitely a bit cheesed off. He's fighting back now. He's saying he couldn't listen out because he was too busy listening to the ground crew who were conducting his push. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I don't know what the BA procedures are, but I would imagine one guy is listening to the ground crew and one guy should be keeping a listening watch on the active tower frequency or the ground frequency. But hey, never mind.
Speedbird 81 Delta, the ATO was actually supposed to give way to you, and I was trying to call you to warn you.
Okay, so we're getting into a bit of a debate here now, a bit of a heated battle. Maybe not an ideal thing to have happening on a busy frequency. Maybe best left for another time, or a quieter frequency perhaps.
Speedbird 81 Delta, the ATO was actually supposed to give way to you, and I was trying to call you to warn you.
Oh, so it's his fault, okay.
Oh, Speedbird. Nigel, you didn't just say that, did you? You didn't just make a sarky comment, blame the controller for the tiny little boo-boo. That's kind of unprofessional.
Weren't listening out and not responding, but everything's clear now. Continue pushing start to point to Charlie, and I'm just too busy to continue any further conversation about this on frequency.
Nice. So this girl ain't taking any crap from him. She's explained what happened, and she said, let's move on. No harm, no foul. I'm too busy to deal with this. I got other stuff going on. Move on with your life. Now, the problem with getting into a debate with air traffic controller, well, as I say, you shouldn't really do that. It's a little bit unprofessional, but you want to pick your battles. Now, here's Speedbird in a foreign country, in Dublin, surrounded by other Irish carriers, Stobart, Ryanair, Aer Lingus. So what do you think is going to happen now? Do you think everyone's going to rally to support the British Airways Speedbird guy, or are they going to side with their girl up in the tower there? Let's have a listen.
Maybe push off stack quicker. Go girl.
Yeah, they're going to side with her. They're coming to her defence.
Stack quicker.
Shamrock 12 Charlie, monitor tower, 118.6, bye-bye now.
86, Shamrock 12 Charlie, you're doing a great job, thanks very much.
Yes, I appreciate it. 7316, taxi, link 5, Papa 1, left onto 34, hold short of runway 28.
No problem there, link 5, Papa 1, left onto 34, hold short 28, runner 7316, you're doing a great job, thanks.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Yep, that Speedbird guy's getting no sympathy whatsoever. I think he's dug himself into a little bit of a hole there.
Speedbird 81 Delta, request taxi.
Speedbird 81 Delta, taxi, link 4, left Foxtrot taxiways, Echo 1, hold short of runways 34 and 28.
Link 4, Foxtrots to Echo 1, hold short 34 and 28. Speedbird 81 Delta, and to advise we'll be filing a safety report.
Copy, sir, thanks.
What? Did he really just threaten her with a safety report live on the frequency? Oh, Nigel, what were you thinking? You've dug yourself into a hole. Just stop digging. Stop digging.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Sure, 49 Whiskey, they should be clear, but just at link 4, give way to outbound British Airways Airbus 320. They should be clear, though, by the time we taxi forward.
Oh, well, we see him, alright, we'll give way to him, 49 Whiskey.
Speedbird 81 Delta, monitor tower, 118.6, bye now.
186, Speedbird 81 Delta, good day.
Oh dear, that's the end of the recording. I hope at the end of that little incident, our friend Nigel was feeling just a little bit red-faced, but come on, guys. Time and a place. Okay, that was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. These things happen. Now, of course, there was a serious point now. He'd be well within his rights to be cheesed off and a bit angry of the foul-up, and it would be entirely appropriate to file a safety report. I've got no issues with that whatsoever. There was a clear breakdown in communication, in procedure, and potentially it could have turned into a nasty little hiccup. So a safety report is more than warranted. But that whole little exchange with the poor girl is doing a great job. I'm sure I've spoken to her many times myself, and it's such a busy place. She was on the ball. She was very direct. She had a job to do, so she wasn't gonna. She didn't have time to engage in the silly little argument about that. But that really could have been handled in a very different way. If it was me, I would like to think if I was that Speedbird guy, I would have made my point and said, hey, we've had to stop the push because this thing happened. The air traffic controller, as she said, would have said, yeah, sorry about that. The Stobart went a bit early. And I would probably, I hope, said, okay, thanks very much for the information. And then later on, if I felt it necessary, and I probably would have done that, I just would have filed a safety report. We file safety reports every day for something or other. It's not it's not a personal vendetta against any individual controller. It's just you identify it's something that has happened. You write a report so someone can look at it and hopefully learn a lesson from it. It's just one of those things. But for God's sake, don't use filing a safety report as some kind of revenge on someone for spoiling your day just in the tiniest little amount. So all in all, just a tiny little bit childish, but an amusing incident nonetheless. But as I say, this is very tongue-in-cheek. I don't mean to pick on poor old Nigel. And incidentally, if you don't get that Nigel reference, in the aviation world, we generally refer to British Airways pilots as Nigel. Why Nigel and where that came from, I don't know, just because it's a sort of a posh name, I suppose, and the BA Speedbird guides tend to have a slightly posh way of speaking on the radio, I suppose. So I don't know why, but they've just become known as Nigels over the years. So Nigel, not this time, fella. Okay, I had better draw this little segment to a close. I'll be at work all next week, flying here, there and everywhere. Hopefully I'll have time to record another segment for next week's show. But until then, I wish you all safe flying and take care of yourselves. Bye.
Find this and other great shows at the Aviation Media Network.
TheVoicesInYourHead.com.
So our interview this week is with a very special guest indeed, who's joined us from quite some distance away. And this week's guest is Sam Chui. He is a celebrated aviation enthusiast, blogger, photographer and journalist. And he loves anything to do with aviation. Today, Sam, in his travels, has gone to over 90 countries worldwide and flown over 1,500 flights. Wow. And logged over 2.8 million miles around the globe to pursue his passion for aviation and travel. Sam's got his own blog page and also puts regular videos on YouTube of all his travels across the globe on some fantastic airlines. And Sam, welcome onto the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to join you, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Great. It's very kind of you to join us, Sam. Because whereabouts are you at the moment, Sam?
So I'm actually in Kuwait. I'm in the Kuwait city. The temperature outside is nearly 50 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
That's quite toasty.
I don't know, you fancy to be in UK or you fancy to be out here?
I don't know. I mean, we do have a slightly... We're in sort of what I like to refer to as nosebleed territory here in the UK, as we've peaked at around about 21 degrees today, which is a terrifying temperature for us, but 50 I can't even comprehend.
Well, I'd imagine 21 degrees, that's probably the temperature of the air conditioning in the lounge that you sat in, isn't it, Sam? I mean, that's an ideal temperature.
Not outside.
Not outside though. No.
At the moment, I'm quite enjoying in the lounging here and speaking with you, of course.
Excellent.
So Sam, then, for the benefit of the listeners, then tell us just a bit about what you actually do.
Okay, so I am largely an aviation enthusiast. I do have a day job that work in a government public office that really hasn't got anything to do with aviation. So I generally consider the aviation as a hobby of mine, and although I'm very passionate to pursuing my hobby, to take it to a different level. And I'm into travel, and I'm into flying. Sometimes I'm actually just want to fly, get there, not to actually get there, just want to get on the plane to get there. That's pretty much it. It's really just mainly into aviation on the commercial side of aviation, and pretty much if you see my website, that will give you a very good intro of myself.
So some of the videos, Sam, you've had some really, really great experiences in your travels, because you kind of tend to skip what most of us travel in economy. You kind of skip to the top levels. You've flown in some very, very some nice classes of travel with some of the airlines. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, I've been very fortunate, and I started travel when I was younger. And I remember I joined the frequent flyer clubs in the early 90s when I was a teenager. And I was able to pick up some of the inside and outside of things of frequent flyer and all these frequent flyer schemes, and I was able to utilize some benefit out of that. So a lot of these flights I've done are actually paid very little, although they are all paid out of my pockets. They're not sponsored, anything like that. I was able to use a few travel tools, looking good planning and looking for bargains, and utilizing frequent flyer benefit, as mentioned. A combination of things enable me to travel in a fashion that is more affordable and keeping an open mindset that I'm willing to travel on most airlines, not confined to very few of them, because that was also what I'm interested in, is travel to as many airlines as I can to review them as well.
Wow.
So have you had to open up accounts with numerous credit card companies? Because that seems to be one of the mechanisms to generate frequent flyer miles, is to sign up for the airline's associated credit cards. Is that one of the routes that you've taken?
Well, that certainly is one of the very obvious routes you can take. Every time, as many are aware of, there are good sign-up bonuses. And the problem is, if you sign up too many of that, it might affect you. Ultimately, the accumulation of the credit card miles after signing up is coming from your spending. So you really need to look at your finances, whether you are able to keep spending and earning more miles once you sign it up. I would say, because I've been also flying quite a bit, so the accumulation comes from various ways. So it might come from credit card, it also come from flying, and also keep an eye out for the bonuses. A lot of airlines these days do give generous bonuses when you fly on the new routes. When you fly a premium cabin, you do earn sometimes even triple miles. So there are various ways of earning miles, and the idea is just keep looking out for some of the news and promotions.
So all the airlines you've flown on, Sam, who would you say has the best kind of mileage program, to gain miles in sort of the quickest, easiest way?
Well, if you asked me this question a year ago, I would give you a very clear answer. There was one a year ago. It was American Airlines. American Airlines had one of the best or easiest rates to redeem miles. However, they have they have lined up with the industry standard. They have adjusted their levels now since 22nd of March this year. So believe me that a lot of people, including myself, are still trying to answer your question these days, because airlines themselves do see a lot of people as taking good advantage of their frequent flyer program by redeeming miles to travel in a premium cabin lately. Lots more cases, and so they have done their bit to adjust the level to increase the rates to make it slightly more costlier or more difficult to do so. At this point, I think that Singapore Airlines, KrisFlyer, they are still one of those very generous ones. You're allowed to travel with Singapore Airlines and the Star Alliance partners. British Airways also have a very interesting program in their executive club. In the Avios, they tend to have a lower limit or lower criteria to travel for short haul flights within Europe or in UK. Sometimes last minute they release a lot of empty seats, and this might have cost quite a lot of money if you put to buy last minute airfares. But you can use your Avios to redeem for just a few thousand Avios. You can exchange for airfare maybe a couple £100. So there are quite a few good schemes out there here and there, but overall the standard has been revised in the frequent flyer programs.
Well, and presumably the goalposts move on a regular basis as well, because I suppose one scheme that was very good, say a couple of years ago, obviously the goalposts move, and now somebody else is better at it.
Exactly. This is an industry, and this is a game. It keep evolving around. A lot of smart frequent flyer also tend to move around because someone's obviously offer better terms, and then they move to the better ones. So it really, you need to keep a very flexible outlook. Don't lock yourself down to only one, and you need to keep looking around for better offers around.
I guess you also have to have a slightly more flexible wife than I do, because I managed to collect a whole heap of points with one airline, and then she decides that she wants to go somewhere in the world that airline doesn't fly with, and so the whole process starts again.
Yeah, believe me, and I think actually living in UK is one of the perks. You have one of the perks to have choices of many different ways to go places, and most of the airlines do become very competitive in UK. So out of Middle East, we have actually fewer choices, But they do have lots of deals going on.
So getting back, Sam, I've been lucky in the past and in the last few years to fly to the Middle East quite a lot with quite a few of the Middle Eastern airlines, Oman Air, Emirates, and Qatar. And for me, Emirates was definitely the one that kind of shone amongst all those airlines with the service and level of quality and stuff they provide. I mean, who for you? I mean, you've flown obviously pretty much all the airlines across the globe. Who for you provides that really top level of service in the airline industry?
Yeah, it's a great question because I get to ask this question quite often, and I really have to say it is a personal perception of what is meaning of good services. I personally, it is just a matter of personal preference. For the Middle East, I would go with Qatar Airways, and I felt like Qatar has maintain a good level of consistency that they have predicted and knowing what a frequent traveler wants. Sometimes we even think they are the Singapore Airlines. They kept certainly a very high benchmark. They are the Singapore Airlines of the Middle East. Certainly Emirates and Etihad, these are very, very competitive players, and they also looking very hard on the service, try to deliver the best. But also there are quite a few other airlines in the Middle East that is sometimes overlooked or you haven't heard of that also. For example, you mentioned Oman Air. Oman Air is a young airline and is catching up, and they have bought lots of new planes lately. They have been tremendous. There's tremendous values on Oman Air, and they offer lots of heavy discount tickets, and the product and the service is, believe me, is definitely first class. The passengers still demand for food and drink, even if it's 1 hour inter GCC, what we call the Gulf countries between UAE, between Oman, between Bahrain, Doha, Saudi Arabia, and those flights you're very lucky to get a free food now in a flight maybe around US or UK. Yeah. So in the Middle East, there are lots of demanding demanded good services. So that also try to keep the airline's service to be up to scratch.
Yeah, we had an internal flight between Dubai and Oman last year, and I was quite surprised. Like you say, we threw it. I think it was an Embraer 175 with Oman Air.
Yep, absolutely spot on.
It was like, I think it was a 25 or 30-minute flight. Very, very short flight, but we still had complimentary drinks and snacks. On such a short flight with Oman Air, and the crew are really good as well. For such a small journey, but. Yeah, it was. We're hoping this year to go back to Oman and use Oman Air again. So it'll be nice to see if we can try and get one of their newer aircraft, because we've flown on the 330 with Oman Air, and they were quite getting on in age. I think inside the cabin interiors were quite well worn.
Mm-hmm. But, Oman Air has the new 787 Dreamliner delivery this year. So those, from what I understood, it's been flying to Thailand, and it's been flying to Paris and I think Zurich and Milan. So their London flight, they use the A330 because they have a 3-class cabin, and they have heavy premium cabin for a lot of demand out of London, between London and Oman. The royal family flies a lot, so they keep the only aircraft 3-class cabin on the A330 flying between London and Oman.
So Sam, I've been looking at your videos that you've got on your YouTube channel, and for those of you guys in the chat room or for listening to the audio podcast, you must go over to Sam's YouTube page. The videos he's got on there are fantastic, and they're all in high definition as well, HD. But some of those, the classes that you've flown on, Sam, they look absolutely amazing. Is it the La Campagne you flew, or the French Air France?
This is the Air France first class product.
That's the first class,
which is called the La Première.
La Première, that's it, yeah.
That's right, yeah. So this one is one of probably the best, or one of my finest first class experience out of all the first class I flew. This one really look after the passenger from the moment you arrive at the airport. Your experience don't just start from the time you board a plane. This experience started right when you arrive at the airport, or when you connect into Paris, and they will taking you in a limousine drive you across the tarmac to the exclusive lounge, and your passport will be, all your bags and passport will be well taken care of. Formality will be taken care of. So you just don't worry a thing, and you relax as what travel should be. And you could have a nice, beautiful French cuisine and wine before your flight, and you can have a spa treatment. You can have wine relaxing down in the lounge, and then you'll be again chauffeured straight up to the departing plane. And they even have a walkie-talkie just to telling the crew. The ground staff will just do the walkie-talkie talking to the crew to let the flight attendant on the plane ready to know you are coming on board. So they have really taken a lot of details in traveling, try to create that seamless experience, not only on the plane, but also on the ground, that really set them apart from a lot of other first class competitor, because they look after you, they look at the whole package instead of just in the plane, And of course, suffice to say that, I personally really enjoyed the French cuisine and the food. I think on Air France, you cannot fail. You cannot fail to enjoy a beautiful French food and the fine dining they provide.
Wow. So, I mean, Stuart in the chat room has asked a question that sort of really relates to what you were saying, and that is, what do you think the next step for airlines to lure in clients might be? What do you think they can do to improve?
Well, I think, again, I have already given some thoughts about, I think it's the whole seamless travel experience. People are getting increasingly sophisticated and increasingly demanding. The standards just keep rising. We have never seen an airline first class with the doors and the suite enclosure in the past. So now it's a reality. And I think in the future, I think they need to look at all the attention onto the details they provide. They need to really put themselves, whoever designed all this service, into the passenger's shoes to think about what a passenger value the most. What's the thing they really, what's the convenience thing they can make, or what's the most impression they can make out of a passenger paying such top dollar for their flight. I'm sure they will be sending out lots of surveys trying to masternize that travel experiences. I think people hate to go through long security lines. People want to be differentiated, want to be treated individually instead of treating as collectively as the same and regardless with no difference. So that's the bit I think they need to look after, is to differentiate and treat people and individually, so to keep their premium passenger happy.
To make it sort of more personal, essentially, a sort of more one-on-one type thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Etihad, Sam, has their residence product. Have you had a chance to try that out yet?
No, I haven't got any chance to sort of trying, although that is actually on my agenda. And, I frequently told my wife, look, I might just going to drop some money to spend on that and to have the ultimate experience. I actually have a chance a couple of times. I have a few chances actually sitting in there because it was empty, the flight, and the flight attendant and the Etihad promotion team. They have actually said to me that, Sam, would you like to just maybe sample a meal sitting in there, or be shown around? So I have definitely been showed around and had a look, and but I still really want the full experience. I suppose the only way to do so is to to break your wallet and
it's not cheap
to try that.
Yeah.
No. So obviously we're talking about Emirates and sort of the more famous carriers, if you like, for that sort of thing. If we were to sort of stick to Europe, and Nick Wilson has asked this in the chat room here, so what would you say would be your preferred European airline for service and network?
It's difficult because I literally don't travel between Europe very often.
Right.
So I'm just really afraid that my opinion wouldn't be very useful for the listeners, for our audience here. I still think a network airline would prevail. I'm more old school thinker that I really like the network of British Airways, and these two are probably the more consistent ones. Although I understand a lot of low-cost airlines flying point to point are very, very useful these days. Instead of transiting through one of the mega hubs, and you could get caught up with more issues during transit. So again, I'm more still leaning towards the network airline because it recognizes the frequent flyer benefits.
One of the questions we've had in the chat room, Sam, is this is going to be a long shot here, have you had the chance to fly on our famous airline here in the UK, Ryanair?
I haven't flew Ryanair, although I haven't really been avoiding them. It just somehow, I don't travel a lot in UK and Europe, and I love to have one-time experience on Ryanair.
Really?
I hear lots of different stories on Ryanair, but I do want, and I go with by every airline in the world at least one time. So.
Right, so almost by virtue of wanting to complete the entire cycle, you need to come and fly on Ryanair.
So another question then, Sam, from Tony S in the chat room, and she's asking, which airline would you choose between Virgin, Delta, or Monarch Airlines?
Okay, so I really don't want to be taken as advisory on this. I really don't know. Apart from they have a reputation being a holiday chartering airline. I flew Virgin and Delta. I understand that so the U.S. airline has trying to improve lately. I would say it would be a close call.
Basically, we understood that you were less happy to fly with Virgin and Delta. That's what we understood in the Skype breakup, I think.
Because Captain Al, who's with us.
I haven't flew Monarch. I understand that's a holiday charter airline. But I think it will be a close call between Virgin or Delta. My choice. This might be a close call between Virgin and Delta, but you've got to look at the whole package. You've got to look at what kind of frequent flyer benefit they offer you, what kind of fares, what kind of product they have on each particular plane on that route you fly. So you might need to do a bit more advanced research, and the answer may be not so common, and just straight away I can give you that answer, and maybe you have to look at very closely to the routes, to the detail on that plane they offer.
Well, I must say
you're such a diplomat.
I guess that's such a diplomatic answer.
Very good. So, Sam, obviously, a lot of us here haven't got the sort of the points and the miles to travel in such a class as where you've got. But obviously, you've probably had a chance to travel in economy in most of the airlines. Who for you, Sam, sort of gives that better economy package in your view?
Well, I think that Singapore Airlines has a very, very strong economy product. It is sort of setting the benchmark for the other airline to follow. I recently flew economy with Singapore Airlines, having flew a lot of business premium products, and I just could not believe that was what they're offering on a 3-hour flight. They offer you, full service, full meals, full wines, entertainment, same very advanced system, and the crew were very cautious and greeting, even they remember by names at the end of the flight. So I would go with Singapore Airlines, and although Emirates Airline also is very impressive, they always have a very generous offering in meals and in their customer service. So Singapore will be my top choice, and Emirates will be a close second.
So all the airports you've flown in over the years, Sam, are there any airports that you miss? One of the questions we had in the chat room earlier, such as Kai Tak, and are there any airports which have closed, which you miss flying in and out of?
I haven't really paid attention. I've been to quite a few before they closed. So there is one in South America. There is one they call the Kai Tak of South America, which is in the country of Ecuador, in Quito, in the capital Quito, Ecuador, and that also used to have a similar feature like Kai Tak. The plane will bank sharply before they line up with the runway and to land. I fortunately visited one time before they closed that and moved on to their new airport. There are a few airports which hasn't closed that I haven't really visited. It's still on my bucket list. One of them will be in the Portugal, in the Madeira Islands. I think the airport name is Funchal.
Good choice, yes, and you are correct.
Yeah. that I heard about. There is a football or something like a football pitch below the runway. So
yes, absolutely,
it's quite amazing to hear that. There will be another one, I think, in Honduras. I can't pronounce that name of that airport. It's very South America. Yeah, you got that right. So I still don't know how to pronounce that. So that one is also quite a interesting one to watch planes. However, I can share with you that there's quite a few really impressive airport at this point that all the audience can go and they will fully enjoy themselves. We all know St. Martin in the Caribbean. That's one of those, the plane will fly, a few feet above the beach coming to land.
Oh, wow.
That's a great place to even bring your family and wife, or you can enjoy plane spotting. The other one
I've tried to sell that one to my wife, and I need to work a little bit more on my selling technique because she's not having any of it. But yeah, you're absolutely
right. So the other one I really recommend is in Nepal. Actually, it's one of those world's most dangerous airport. It's actually in Lukla in Nepal. And it's not often heard of, but this is very small airport. Commuter planes flying there. Only propeller plane can fly, but there's no landing visual aids. Accidents do happen every year, and it's very challenging. In fact, flying into with mountain and terrain surrounding the airport. So if anyone interested, go have a look. Lukla, Nepal is featured on my website as the world's most dangerous airport, and also it's widely considered on Wikipedia, on everywhere you can find online. You get this information, Lukla. That would be a very enjoyable airport just to watch planes coming and going, because the plane tend to rotate last minute, and then if they don't rotate fast enough, they will fall into the valley in front. And the runway has a 12-degree gradient going downward. So you take off downward in 12 degrees, and then you literally rotate just before the end of the runway and flying above the valley, and that's how you're getting out of there.
And those of you who are watching actually on YouTube, obviously, if you're listening to this on the audio download, but those of you, if you do get the chance, if you go to our website, as I say, we have been playing out, in fact, that very video while Sam was describing it to us as part of the output. But yeah, it's Micah has actually asked a question here. It's like because obviously flying nowadays is a lot cheaper than it used to be. I mean, the actual costs involved are far less. As I say, and Micah, who is frankly a royalty as far as podcasting is concerned, has asked the question: how has the changes to prices paid versus miles flown affected your frequent flyer earning, and how do you work around it?
Well, I can give two versions of the answer. One version would be you would need to look at the cost, figure out the cost of the miles. What does 1 mile cost you? Or looking at making out mathematically a ratio that, let's say you pay $1,000 for your airfare and you earned 10,000 miles. So each mile it costs you 10 cents, something like that. So you need to kind of strike a value and look at the valuation of what does this 1 mile cost you. So if you look at, you want to use your miles, 50,000 miles will get you a flight to the Caribbean from UK. So the 50,000 miles, what is that 50,000 miles worth? So you're going to compare the value of what the economy class airfare to Caribbean, compare with that 50,000 miles. So I'll tell you the trending in the industry is that the miles are increasingly devalued. The miles has been increasingly devalued. So there are lots of cheap fares. Fares are very competitive these days. That your 50,000 miles could virtually not worthing much in economy. But then there is a interesting point that you could leverage these miles. You could accumulate a bit more of these miles, leverage them to use it in business and first class. So it might cost 10 times the money to travel in business and first from economy airfare, but it might cost only twice or double the miles required. So you do see that leverage value is coming through when you travel in an upper class or premium cabin. I hope this is clear. If for my answer, this is quite a difficult one to explain.
Another question for you, Sam. For those of you, or for the some of the listeners who travel long distance on the long haul flights and carriers and stuff in economy, I've tried it before myself and managed to have some luck in getting an upgrade. Are there any kind of hints or tips you can give passengers like me who travel, who buy economy ticket, to possibly get kind of an upgrade, a complimentary upgrade into a business or first class place?
Yes, so for an upgrade to happen, for a complimentary upgrade to happen, really you need to look at two things. One is the loads, the loadings in economy class, whether the economy class has been oversold, that they would need to find someone to upgrade them to the front cabin. And the other factor is to look at the loads in the front cabin, whether the front cabin is actually full, there's no room to upgrade. So we need to play with these two factors. And I'll tell you, there is a very useful tool to even to find out these loads by looking at a seat map before or during a check-in. The tool is Expert Flyer. So if you go to www.expertflyer.com, which is a tool I use, it's a paid subscription tool. This tool is literally a travel GDS, like those travel agents use, Sabre or Amadeus. These are the travel GDS. That this is a web-based tool that brings up the seat map. So you can look at the seat map before you fly, and you can do literally bean counting and seeing what your chances are to get upgraded. However, your best chance would be if you're holding a status with your frequent flyer program of that airline you fly. So if you are a silver or gold member, that they will literally put you in front, and you have a higher chance to get upgraded when the economy is full, while there's still room in the premium cabin. Like today, I came from Abu Dhabi to Kuwait, and our flight is actually heavily oversold. We have some volunteers have to left behind, and there was one seat at check-in. I checked. There's one seat empty in business class, and the economy has got about 6 or 7 oversold. So I just happened to be that lucky person to be upgraded at the gate. So what you're hoping is to, when they swipe your boarding pass, that red color will comes up, and that crosses come up that tells you, we have to give you a new boarding pass. That means you have been upgraded.
So does it help as well, Sam, with what you're wearing and how you interact with the check-in staff?
I don't believe so anymore, though that's a very, very common thing to think of, and people have done that in the past. Obviously, it's a combination of factors these days. It's the computer who decide to get upgraded, and many times I've seen people being upgraded has not wear the best outfit, and it's really the loyalty of the passenger towards that airline. Maybe this person has flew a lot, so when it comes to the upgrade list, and they will reward the loyal flyer more than the people how they dress. I think the dressing one is an interesting point, is that you see a lot of people dress up well. A lot of these actually maybe are on standby, where they're actually staff of the airline. That the staff of the airline, they might have a dress code to travel, and so that's why this is a very, very interesting point that people often mixed up with this one and thinking that they can dress up better and then they will score an upgrade. I don't think this happens, really. And I think you should just dress comfortably. You should dress as comfortably as you are and just being yourself, And if your luck strikes, nothing can stop it, really. And then, you're bound to be the person to get selected, and then you will be,
Well, we've sort of more or less run out of time, I'm afraid, here, and I think we shouldn't push our luck any longer with regard to our Skype links. So thanks for. But
it's been absolutely great to have you on the show today, Sam. It's been really, really good to speak to you and hear about some of your experiences on the airlines you've flown with. Any sort of last-minute tips of advice for any of the listeners on the show for their flights coming up soon?
Well, I have just been warmed up. Now I'd like to speak more. Anyway, it's been a great pleasure. I'm really enjoying the interview here.
Good. Yeah, no, fantastic. So if anybody wants to...
glitches there and then being cut off, that's really annoying for everyone. And I think my last word to close this is if anyone's more interested in what I do and in how to travel in a more affordable way, you can just visit my website. My website is my name, so it's samchui.com.
So that's www.samchui.com. Chui spelled CHUI. Go to his website. You'll find loads of details there, and you've also got your page as well on YouTube, haven't you, Sam? With all the great videos you've posted.
Right. I am on most of the social media, which I am on YouTube, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, of course. So you could get me on any of those, and I'm very happy to share more experiences there with you.
Excellent. Well, perhaps we can, in the future, Sam, we can sort of grab you again and get you back on the show at some point when you're back on sort of home ground.
Definitely. That would be my pleasure to speak again.
Lovely.
Cool.
Well, thanks ever so much for your time, Sam. Thanks for joining us on the show. And as I said, it's been great to talk to you, and we wish you all the best on your onward travels.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
The Plain Talking UK podcast is a voluntary project that aims to keep you informed with the latest aviation-related stories from newswires across the globe.
Producing our content does cost money though. If you enjoy our show, why not help us keep on the air by making a donation towards the server and website hosting fees through PayPal. Any contributions would be greatly appreciated.
Are you an Amazon user? If so, why not do your shopping through the link on our website? There's no cost to yourself, and Amazon pay us a small referral fee on qualifying purchases.
To find out more about the show and to meet the team, take yourself to our website www.plaintalkinguk.com,
or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/plaintalkinguk, on Twitter via @plaintalkinguk, or get in touch via email on podcast@plaintalkinguk.com. Thanks for listening.
So anyway, we have some listener feedback.
We have some listener feedback, and it's audio feedback.
It is audio.
We do love audio feedback
we do
because we like to know what you guys sound like, because we know what you look like in the chat room.
Yep.
Because most of you
with
got
little avatars,
and pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
But we have had some feedback, and this is from the.
And of course, earlier in the show, we had like 5 bits of feedback, because we had the legend that is Nev, we had Masha, we had
Myla, Shud, and Myla, and Fabian,
and well done,
and Fabian, but we have had some voice feedback, and this is from the guy who sort of
who's responsible for my misery for the show. But anyway,
he's responsible for the APG meetup, and that's Stuart Aslett. So we have some audio from Stuart Aslett, and we're going to play that out right now.
Hi, it's Stuart Aslett, and currently I am standing in Palma de Mallorca Airport, PMI. We're looking for gate A13, my wife and I. We are about to... Yeah, she's not very happy about the fact. She's a bit superstitious, but each to their own. Yeah, we're looking for the Thompson Dreamliner, and Carlos has asked me to do a little bit of voice feedback about the Dreamliner experience. So I shall re-continue this recording once we're on board. Okay, so you join me aboard this Thompson Dreamliner at our cruise altitude, which today is 40,000 feet. Quite impressive. Just reflecting on my cabin crew days from years gone by on the 737 and the 75 and the 76. I don't generally recall cruising at such high altitudes. And as for the aircraft itself, it's a noticeable difference. I don't just say it lightheartedly. It really is. It feels spacious. It's quieter. In fact, talking of how much quieter, on takeoff, once you've lined up on the runway and the pilots perform the initial engine stabilisation spool up, that just went completely unnoticed to my ear, both leaving Gatwick and again leaving Palma. The first thing you hear, so far as takeoff is concerned, is the toga thrust. So it's definitely more quieter on board. The mood lighting, the LED mood lighting is fantastic. I don't know if it's just because of the fact we had a very nice crew, or perhaps it's a Thompson standard thing, but once we left Gatwick on the way here, the cabin crew... just pause a moment. Just going to re-continue what I was saying now that announcement has finished. The window blinds, that's what I was saying. So the cabin crew dimmed the window blinds on departure from Gatwick to the point you cannot see out of the window at all. And they then go through a demo mode of the mood lighting, the LED mood lighting, which is absolutely fantastic. What a nice way to wake up at the end of a long haul flight to an artificial sunrise, as opposed to those strip lights just being switched on right in your face. What an absolute wonderful difference. So every seat, every window, and even the windows at all the doors have the capability of the electronic window blind. You have a little round dial button which has 5 separate settings, 5 various shades of electronic window dimming, anything from a slight tint right down to a very dark tint, and all the way to a complete block where you just cannot see out the window full stop. Very impressive. The mistake I made was you're pressing the button and it appears nothing is happening. But what I found out is that there's a slight delay from you pressing the button to the window tint adjusting. But yeah, absolutely fantastic aircraft, and it's been great to fly on a Dreamliner. I'm sure Captain Nick would not agree if he's listening, as I'm sure Neville Bounds would not agree, but I'm sorry gents, I have to say I'm with Carlos on this one. Absolutely fantastic.
And we're back. Thank you for that, Stuart. So we've got a slight technical issue in the studio at the moment with the cooling fan in the tower that's starting to. You can probably hear it squeaking in the background there. Matt is currently down there trying to sort the issue out. So anyway, getting back to all that at hand. Yeah, thanks for that, Stuart, sending that in. We are going to be back next weekend, hopefully, with another show, as long as the tower's still in one piece.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be fine. Yeah.
So again, hope you all enjoyed the show. Oh, that does sound really
Pardon
bad.
Me. Yeah. We're going to go off air now before the tower actually blows up. So from all of us here in the studio,
hopefully join us. Look out for the links in Facebook and Twitter and that, and hopefully the tower will not blow up before the end of the show. Anyway, from all of us here in the Plane Talking UK studios, thanks for joining us, and speak to you all again soon.
Yeah,
so
from
goodbye,
all of us
everyone.
here, take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.